मेरा वीडियो नहीं आ रहा, खाली लिखता है। और अभी प्रेजेंटेशन
सर, ओके सर। हेलो, shall we start?
हाँ सर, सर
हाँ. So I'm starting now, okay sir?
राकेश सर,
Yes sir.
am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible and I'm starting now, okay?
हाँ, ओके।
यार जेंटर पेंटर से आता हूँ।
Please, बाकी लोग अपने माइक म्यूट कर लें सभी लोग, so that I can start now. The program is right now starting. Actually, we are already having 11:30 now, and we have to start accordingly. On behalf of Human Resource Center, Center for Human Resource Development, Dr. Sarpalli Radhakrishnan, Rajasthan Ayurveda University, I welcome the august audience in this program. This is the program being organized in the pious, auspicious memory of our beloved, our Sharir legend, Professor D.G. Thatta sir. On his fourth Punya Tithi, we started this program on 1st of May, and so far we have organized 3 lectures. One from Professor G.M. Kanti sir, Professor and Head of Department, STM College, Udupi, as his first lecture, and we are very fortunate enough that today we are having his brilliant student to deliver the lecture here today, Professor PG Kulkarni. The second lecture was delivered by Head PG Department of Ratna Sharir BHU, Professor Kian Singh, and third one was Professor Nilesh Korde sir from Gomantak Ayurveda College, Goa. And today this is the fourth lecture of the series, and I am very grateful that Professor B.G. Kulkarni, Principal and HOD Rachna Sharir, Parul Institute of Ayurveda and Research, Vadodara, has given his consent to deliver, to spare some of time and deliver presentation on a very critical subject, which is very much of interest in from Ayurveda point of view, and is a specific identification of Ayurveda as well, the marmas. And the topic is surgico-anatomical concept of marmas. So I welcome the great personalities of Ayurveda are with us. Professor Dr. Avinash Srivastava ji, Dr. Nilesh Kode ji, Dr. Akash Tish Mishram, and so many more. Professor Mahendra Sharma ji, Professor Dr. Abhijit Patil ji. I welcome you all, and now I request Professor B.G. Kulkarni sir, and I will, before starting, I will give his brief caricature. Dr. Bhagwan Gangadhar Kulkarni ji, briefly known as B.G. Kulkarni sir, Principal, Parul Institute of Ayurveda and Research, Parul University, Vadodara. He has pursued BMS from Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Hubli, Karnataka in the year of 1988, and post-graduation from NKJ Ayurveda Medical College and PG Center, Bidar, Karnataka in the year 2003. Sir has done PhD from RGUHS, Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Karnataka, Bangalore, on a topic, a comprehensive study of Sushrutokt Marma Sharir with special reference to regional and applied anatomy in year 2017. Academically, he has 20 years of UG and PG teaching experience. He has received Ashwin Award conferred by Gujarat Ayurveda Research and Development Center, Vadodara in February 2020. He has guided 6 PG scholars, and at present he is co-guide for 4 PG scholars. He is identified as PhD guide faculty of Ayurveda, Parul University, and is guiding more than 8 PhD scholars. He has presented papers in several national and international seminars, and he has been invited as resource person in several seminars and webinars. Administrative skills, if we come to this point of view, he is the secretary of All India Shari Research Institute, Karnataka branch, SDM, College of Ayurveda, Hassan, Karnataka. From the year 2007 to 2016, he is been identified as NAPH assessor. Currently, He is NABH IQAC Chairman for Khemdas Ayurved Hospital, Principal and Medical Superintendent, Parul Institute of Ayurveda Research, and member in Board of Doctoral Studies, Board of Studies for UG and PG, Academic Council of our University, Vadodara. He is editor or member of executive editor of Janasrotas, biannually journal with ISSN 23212896. He has got 17 articles published in several index journals and one book, Sharir Rachna Shlokavali, published by Chokhamba Prakashan, Varanasi. Sir has completed one research project titled A Study on Janu Sandhi of Heavy Vehicle Travels, which was sponsored by RGUHS Karnataka, Bangalore. Currently, he is working as principal investigator in CR 4D funded EMR project entitled An Interventional Study to Assess the Augmenting Effect of Bal Chaturvedra Arc in grade 1st and 2nd undernutrition in children attending Anganwadi. Under his able guidance, 15 webinars have been conducted from different departments in the pandemic COVID-19 situation. Institute is running with 7 research projects in various fields by faculties and 4 SSIP research projects sponsored by One Hub, iHub, SSIP, SOIC, Government of Gujarat. And 3 of these completed have been these projects have been completed. So this is not whole, but a brief introduction. It is a lot more with him to be present to present, but this is a short information of bio data, which itself speaks his personality. I request Professor VG Kulkarni sir to please start with his presentation. Professor VG Kulkarni sir.
Thank you very much. Before starting, am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Yes.
You are audible.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, all the dignitaries and invitees who have joined this platform from different corners of country. And Dr. Avinash Srivastav sir was saying that we all are like a one family and we all are like a family members. I'm very happy that Sharira family has come together to observe Punyatithi of Dr. D.G. Thatte. I am very happy that Dr. S.R. Rajasthan Ayurveda University, Jodhpur has come forward, the team of that university has come forward to observe this auspicious day by taking the online lecture series in the memory of Dr. D.G. Thatte. Before starting my lecture, I would like to say a few words about Dr. D.G. Thatte sir. He was a great, renowned Ayurveda anatomist, and because of his tireless efforts, lot of changes have come in the quality of publication. It may be book publication, or it may be article publications or a case report publications and all. He was a torch bearer, particularly in the field of Sharira Rachana. I attended many lectures of D.G. Thatte sir, and when I was in Hassan, many times we invited Dr. Thatte sir. He was a great renowned person, and हम बोलते हैं कि जो है talking Shushruta, particularly Sharirasthan, when D.G. Thatte starts to talk, literally Sharirasthan comes out. Was coming out. It was a great personality, and I am very lucky that I have got an opportunity to talk on this occasion on this platform. The topic is given to me is surgico-anatomical concept of Marma. Actually, Marma topic is a very vast topic because the applied aspects of this Marma is dispersed in different sthanas in all Sanhitas. and to bring that all knowledge at one place, and if we make a book out of that, it will be a great book of a traumatology. Actually, Shushruta is a pioneer for the science of a traumatology. Of course, he was crowned as a father of surgery, and he propounded the concept of marma by his vast observation and experience, and conveyed a valuable knowledge of marma to the community of surgeons and physicians. The dogma of surgery is still a strong basis for the management of many grave injuries. And you know, the trauma has posed major civil problems of today. Widespread use of automobiles and frank use of firearms have led to the trauma epidemic. My dear students and faculties, as I said, this is a very vast topic, and it is not possible to cover within 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour. Just a glimpse. This presentation is to explore the hidden thoughts, to highlight the peculiar anatomy at a few places of marma. Actually, the concept of marma was first introduced in the context of Trimarmiya Siddhya Adhyaya of Charaka Samhita. Charaka has described three marmas in detail, applied point of view, and he has not mentioned the detailed description of these 107 marmas in detail. But further, Shushruta has highlighted, because he had a concern about the anatomy and surgery particularly. These vital areas are under the influence of Pancha Mahabhuta and Tridoshas, because body is made up of Pancha Mahabhuta and Tridosha, prana is there. And all these factors are influencing the pathogenesis of injury. And these deranged Tridoshas cripple the local functions of these vital areas. And the highlights of my presentation is exploration of some concealed thoughts, as I said now. The unique structural arrangement I want to show, the surgical importance of that area, and how this Adhata Parinam is exhibited. So this lecture is important in applied point of view, where the surgery or surgical marmas. I will not cover all the marmas here. A few marmas I will discuss on this platform because of a constraint of a time. Let us start with the definition, and the few things I want to analyze for postgraduate scholars' point of view. Right from the definition, there are many words to analyze. It is derived from marma, derived word marma is derived from mru mani, jivasthane, sandhisthane, tatparecha. It is a place for prana and joints. While telling the nirukti marayanti iti marmani, means on injury of which a death can come, or on injury of which marana sadrusha dukha daitvat, on injury of which patient will experience, a victim will experience a severe pain which may end up into death, marana sadrusha dukha daitvat. And one more very scientific definition is given by Astanga Rudaya. Vishamam spandanam yatra piditaya rupcha tat marmatat. Vishamam spandanam yatra piditaya ruk. What it means? When we compress that particular area a severe pain is elicited or severe pain is experienced. And it is a place where Vishama Spandana is present. It is a place which is prone for exhibiting the Vishama Spandana. So what is Vishama Spandana? It is not to be considered as abnormal pulsation at that area. It is to be considered as Vishama Spandana means change in reflex. There are certain points in the body when you press it, the local nerves are going to irritate, and in a retrograde manner or retrograde way, other important centers which are involved in a maintenance of a homeostasis are going to irritate or stimulate, and different consequences are exhibited through this Vishama Spandana. I will give you a simple example. When we press a Matruka Marma area, carotid artery particularly, when we go give the massage, if it is a planned massage, then it reduces the heart rate if it is a tachycardia. Particularly when there is a more tachycardia, this type of treatment is given. So this is Vishama Spandana, means you are pressing one area and it is affecting the function of other important area. Or otherwise by inadvertently, if a hit is given on the Matruka region area, then it may stimulate the glossopharyngeal nerve and it inhibits the cardiac inhibiting center in the brain and it leads to death if sudden. So this type of irritation of the nerves is referred as a Vishama Spandana. So at such places, Vishama Spandana is seen, severe pain will be elicited after pressing or handling that area. That is why it is designated as Marmasthana. If we come to the structural definition of Marma, Marmani nama Mausa Sira Sthayu Asti Sandhi Sannipayataha Teshu Swabhavata Eva Visheshena Pranas Tishtanti. And Tasman Marma Swabhihata Stasthan Bhavan Apadyante. See, Marma is a conglomerance of Mausa Sira Snayu Sandhi and Asti. Plus Prana is residing there. And when this associated entities or matrix, I can say, get injured, then according to the involvement of a particular matrix, it may be a Mausa, it may be Sira, it may be Snayu, okay, particular component, I can say, different bhavas, different signs and symptoms are going to manifest or exhibit. There is a categorization of marmas done in detail that we will review it now. Okay. And one more thing Sushruta has highlighted is Soma Maruta Tejansi Raja Sattva Tamansicha Marmasu Prayasha Pusam Bhutatmacha Avatishtati. At the place of a marma, there is a location of Soma, Maruta, Tejasa and Sattva, Raja, Tama. Bhutatma will be there. See, Soma, Maruta, Tejasa, that is three doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and Sattva, Raja, Tama, these are the three gunas, plus Bhutatma. These are the physiological factors which are maintaining the homeostasis of that area, that is Mausa Sira Snayu Asti Sandhi. When these 5 factors Mausa Sira Snayu Sandhi Asti and Soma Maruta Tejasa Sattva Raja Tama come together, and if in such situation a trauma occurs in that place, then different signs and symptoms are seen depending upon the involvement of Rajaguna, Satuguna, Tamoguna, and these doshas. Of course, there is an important role of Prana and Bhutatma. Because of that only everything is going on. I will not take much time on the discussion of the classification. According to the structure, the Mausa Marma, Sera Marma, Snayu Marma, Asti Marma, Sandhi Marma have been given. In this Mausa Marma, where the Mausa is very dominant, Sira and the Sira Marma, Sira is dominant, and in a Snayu Marma, Snayu, Asti Marma, Asti is dominant, and the Sandhi is Sandhi. Sandhi is dominant there. Okay. Okay. In a Mausa Marma, in case of Mausa Marma, what happens? Even though there is a predominancy of Mamsa, but sometimes the Siras present within the Mausa will be more vital or very crucial. Sometimes Asti, in the Asti Marma, Asti is prominent, but the structures like a vessel or a nerve which are behind the Asti or in that area of the Asti may be crucial. I will discuss in detail how this is to be taught. Regional classification is there, prognostic classification is there, and the Pramana, according to Pramana, metrical classification is there. I am very happy. I have taken this picture from Thatte sir's book only. Okay, so I am using this knowledge and conveying. I am very happy that I have referred the Thatte sir's book here. So these are the places where the various marmas are seen: Kshipra, Talarudaya, Purcha Shira, okay, Gulfa Marma, or Manibandha Marma, or Indrabasti, or Janu Marma, Ani Marma, okay, Urvi, Lohitaksha. So these are the, I don't want to go in detail because there are many other things to be highlighted. Courtesy by Professor Thatte sir's book. Okay, this is very important. After the trauma, shock is a major challenge before the clinician. Therefore, the knowledge of pathophysiology of shock is very important for physicians. Recently, I got a statement in the newspaper that deaths in road crashes like a silent pandemic. Already we are facing the pandemic. Even Honorable Defense Minister Rajnath Singh is saying that even road accidents and the deaths which are occurring are like a silent pandemic, because we have less than 3% of world's total vehicles, but the accidents are close to 11%. And every year around 4.5 to 5 lakh accidents and 1.5 lakh unfortunate deaths are occurring. And these deaths occurring because of a grave injuries and involvement of multiple systems, sometimes involvement of a particular marma also. Sometimes we don't see the trauma externally, but the person is died because of marma vighata. Okay, that is why I wanted to highlight this. One minute, huh? Rakesh sir? Rakesh sir? Am I audible? Rakesh sir? Hello? Hello?
Yes, audible.
Okay, please give me response. Okay. Now let us discuss with reference to this marma vighata and all. Let us discuss the general aghata lakshanas or shock symptoms which are given. Here we should really appreciate the Sushruta's observation. A set of signs and symptoms he has given. Brahma pralapa pratana pramoha vicheshtana sallayana ushnatecha srastangata murchana urdhvata tivra rujo vatputascha tastam mausodakabham rudiram cha gachet sarvendriyartha parmastathaiva. Samanya marma lakshan, these are all. See, giddiness, pralapa, delirium, fainting, delusion, abnormal activities of body parts, stupor, increase of body temperature, laxity of the body parts, unconsciousness, increased expiration. You can refer gasping also. We can apply here, gasping at a last stage. Severe pain caused by vata, and when there is a severe bleeding, sometimes we get blood resembling the mutton wash going out, and loss of sensory perceptions. These are very important observations, and I wanted to discuss with you. As I said, there is a category of marmas like a Sadhya Pranahara, Kalantara, Vishalagna, Rujakara and Vaikalkara. According to the category, Sushruta has highlighted different signs and symptoms. If Sadhya Pranahara are injured, there is the inability to pursue the object of the senses. Indriya Artha has gone. Loss of function of manas and buddhi, manas, and experience of various types of pain. This is seen in Sadhya Pranahara. Other than this, even general, as I said, general signs and symptoms are also seen. Kalantara Pranahara Marma, because immediately death is not occurring after 15 to 20, 30 days. But in Sadhya Pranahara, 0 time to 7 days. A different period of span of the death is also given. Vishalagna Marma, as long as we are retaining the body there. Okay, Rujakara Marma, various types of pains, and they are causing the disabilities, Rujakara Marmas, and Vaikalakara Marmas, they are exhibiting the irreversible defects, which is affecting the quality of life. That you see whenever there is a operations on Purpar Marma, whenever there are operations on knee joints or elbow joints, a kind of residual deformity is seen there because these are operated on marmasthanas. I want to attract your attention to the Glasgow Coma scale. In a Glasgow Coma scale, I don't want to discuss on the scale and their measurements and all, but I want to attract your attention particularly on the basis on which the Glasgow Coma scale is considered. The basis. What is the basis? Based on the behavior, based on the 3 things taken into consideration: eye-opening response, best verbal response, and best motor response. They want to assess the speech, they want to assess the pain, they want to assess the quality of words, whether the incomprehensible sounds is there or not, whether he is oriented or not, whether he is obeying the commands or not. Are there any abnormal moments? These are the basis to consider the Glasgow Coma scale. And come to this side on left side, Pralapa, Pratana, Pramoha, Sastrangata, Murchana, Ruja, loss of Indriyartha. These all are matching to the basis for the Glasgow Coma. Here we appreciate the Sushruta's observation and tremendous experience in surgical practice. Now let us consider the Marmaghata. I got one question from one student in last presentation last time. How this Sattva, Raja, Tama making their roles, sir? And there was one more question I got. The Rudhaya Marma and particular Rudhaya, is a location of Sattva, Rajatama and Chetana. So can you explain this? This was the question when I was talking on the same topic and I got this. Then I thought critically and I answered. There is a very intimate relation between the pathophysiology of Marmavighata and roles of this Sattva, Rajatama Trigunas. In different stage of Marmavighata, there is an influence of these three gunas. But before going to the discussion on this Marmavighata, let us understand what is Sattva, Rajatamas. Sattva is a balanced state of the body. I am talking with reference to the trauma and Marmavighata. Rajas is an excitatory status we can consider. And tamas we can consider sluggish or lethargic status of the body. Let us see how these are making their role. For that purpose, we need to review the shock. As you know, there are different types of shock. Hypovolemic shock, neurogenic shock, vasovagal shock, anaphylactic shock, and septic shock. There are many types of shocks as discussed in the surgery book. If we take an example of a hypovolemic shock, they have made different stages in the hypovolemic shock. When this hypovolemic means the volume comes down due to bleeding or due to severe dehydration, particularly in a roadside accident or in a burns or in surgeries. When lot of blood loss is seen there, leads to shock. And in this shock, the key organ which is making its role and changes is heart. And these gunas, Sattva, Rajatama gunas, are showing their influence in different stages. For example, when there is a less than 15% loss of circulating blood volume, even this condition also, the pulse rate, systolic pressure, blood pressure, pulse pressure, respiration, CNS, urine output is totally normal. Why? Because Sattva guna is making its role. It is still trying to keep a balance in the body. And when this is not handled properly and if bleeding is not controlled, and when it goes to 15 to 30% of a fluid loss or a blood loss, then Rajoguna comes in the picture. How? Sudden compensatory mechanisms are taking place in the body. Sudden changes are taking place because blood is going continuously. Immediately there is a peripheral vasoconstriction. Immediately peristaltic movement also comes down. Okay, urine output comes down. Heart has to beat more. Respiration rate increases. Sudden changes in all the systems, in the circulatory system, in GIT system, in CNS system, urinary system. See, multiple systems are involving in this compensatory mechanism, and this changes is because of sudden changes, excitatory, sudden changes because of this role of Rajas Guna. And at the end of a Rajas Guna, and the end, one more stage comes, that is the decompensated, where the situation becomes more worst. Okay. So in the decompensated stage, there is an influence of both Rajas Guna and Tamas Guna. Now Tamas Guna is introduced here, role of Tamas Guna. What is Tamas? Lethargic, comes down, lethargic or slows down. So what has slowed down here? Systolic pressure has come down, pulse pressure has come down, urine output has come down. Okay, but pulse rate is still increased because there is an influence of a Rajas Guna, once again excitating, fast going. Okay, and one irreversible stage comes of a shock where the more than 40% fluid is going to lose. That time body cell dies. There is no pulse, pulse is not palpable, systolic pressure is marked decrease. pulse pressure is to marked decrease. These are all marked decrease. Okay, output, urine output is negligible, and the central nervous system is lethargic. So at these different stages, these three gunas are coming, and key person or the key instrument for making these all stages is the heart, Hridaya, and in these Hridaya only these three gunas are present. Okay, so a surgical answer, anatomical answer for the location of these three gunas in the heart is this. In this way also we can understand these gunas. Okay, so these gunas are affecting the functions of organs. Okay, now if you see if you just analyze this Sadhya Pranahara Marma, Guda Nadhi, Matruka Marma, Shringataka Hridaya Basti, these Sadhya Pranahara Marmas are made up of, all Sadhya Pranahara made up of Sira. Means the vascular entity is there, and when these are injured, lot of bleeding, shock. That is why these are all Sadhya Pranahara Marma. If you go through the Vaikalyakara Marma, majority Vaikalyakara Marma are made up of Sira and Snayu and Sandhi. See, Sandhi is for movement, Snayu is helping the movement, and Sira is nourishing. So, due to injury to the Sira in the Vaikalyakara Marma Sthana, Snayus are also injured and Sandhi is also injured. And that is why Vaikalyakara Marma bringing the Vikalata. In Kalantar Pranahara Marma, okay, in Kalantar there is no instant death. Kalantar, very late death comes if it is not managed properly. So in the Kalantar Marma, if you take an example of Stanarohita, Talarudaya, Indrabasti, there are Mausa Marma and there are some Sira Marmas are there. Okay, some Asti Marma and Sandhi Marma, but majority Sira Marmas are there and Mausa Marmas are there. It means that Sira are dominant, and these Siras are going to bleed or going to excrete the fluid in for very long time. That is, he describes, there is a leakage of a dhatu. Gradual loss of dhatu is taking place in the Kalantar Pranahara Marma, because majority marmas are the Sira marmas in Kalantar also. Okay. And Rujakara Marma, Purja Shira Gulpa, Snayu is involved and Sandhi is involved. And Vishalagna Marma, Stapani and Utkshepa Marma. I will talk about the concept of Vishalagna Marma in detail. Let us discuss. See, basically this study or this observation done on the war fields, wounds, and these are all very ancient observations, and even in today's era also, these all are completely relevant. I can say completely relevant. In some cases, if we are unable to say their relevancy, it is our mudhatha. But whatever Sushruta has observed is completely relevant. I can say today's modern surgical principles should refer these thoughts. Okay. Indrabasti Marma. I will discuss few marmas because of constraint of time. Parshni Prati Jangha Madhe Indrabastir Nama Tatra Shonita Kshayana Maranam. Okay. If you see, Indrabasti is a Mamsa Marma and symptoms are death is occurring due to Shonita Kshaya. That's what I was saying. Ki Mamsa Sira is dominant within the Mamsa, and that Sira is responsible for manifestation of these Lakshanas. Shonita Kshayana Maranam. Parshni Prati Jangha Madhe. In the line of a Parshni, but in the center of the Jangha, there is a Indrabasti. Why I took this example? because there is a peculiar arrangement of the structure and vascular structure in this area. According to the other Acharya, this marma is located on 13 angul from the parsni. So if you see, if you measure 13 angul on your body, it comes near the tendinous part of the calf muscle and the bulkier part of the calf muscle, just near that, about that area. And if you go through the internal structure of this region, you will find various veins. There are superficial veins and deep veins in this calf region. And as you know, the deep veins are draining into the superficial veins through the perforating veins. And as these veins are draining the blood against the gravity, so there is arrangement of valves so that blood cannot regurgitate back or come back. This is the simple arrangement which is superficially seen, and we say that yes, because of this. But this concept need to analyze a little more. Other than the superficial veins, there are another two sets of veins present. Gastrocnemial muscle is there, gastrocnemius and soleus muscle is there in this region, and within gastrocnemius muscle some veins are there, and within soleus muscles are some network of the veins are there. And if you see, their arrangement is a very peculiar arrangement. And the veins which are present in the gastrocnemius muscles, they are pumped directly because of the contraction of the gastrocnemius muscle. But to drain the blood from the soleus veins, there is a need of a squeezing action, squeezing of lemon-like action. Okay, and if you go through the vascular arrangement, the gastrocnemius veins are running in pair and they have got a bicuspid walls, and these walls are present in vein trunk and in branches. This is the peculiarity. And if you go through the soleal vein, parallel arrangement is not there, but their arrangement is a little complicated. And venous walls are incomplete. And there are few venous walls in main trunk, and even many exist in the branching vessels. So when trauma occurs, the soleal muscle will not completely squeeze the blood, and blood will stagnate in the vessels only because of their complicated arrangements. And if for long time movement of the calf muscles is not done, it leads to deep vein thrombosis. This is one threat we can face. And you see, these are observations made on war wounds. In ancient days, when the soldier was injured or used to injure, he was not getting in-time treatment because they were battling in a very remote places and all, and it was not possible to shift immediately that injured soldier to the center. And whenever injury occurs at this place, the muscle will go in a resting phase. Movement will not be there because of the severe pain, bleeding occurred with that. And calf muscles on contusion, blood comes out and it accumulates in between the muscles, and this accumulated blood will restrict the movement because of layers of the tissue that use it to slide smoothly across one another, and now adhere and snap, which interferes with the normal functioning. And in this way, the DVT is going to form. And if such deep vein thrombosis escaped from the place and if it goes in a pulmonary circulation, because of pulmonary embolism, a death can occur. So, We have to appreciate the Sushruta's observation. Injury is at this place, but because of consequence of this injury, death is taking place. And that is why he is saying, Ki Lohit Kshayena Maranam. So we should appreciate his observations, arrangement of the vessels and all, their physiology. We'll skip now, this is talk 15. Let us come to the Buddha Marma. Recently, I was just observing one of the lecture on clinical anatomy of Buddha and some Buddha Marma. Ken Singh sir was delivering. I got few glimpses of that. Okay, and this is a very important area. Why important area? Because we are dealing perineal region daily in our routine surgical practice. We are operating for Arsha, Bagandhara, piles, fistula, fissure, and abscesses and prolapse and all other conditions also. But Buddha Marma is a Sadhya Pranahara, and one question is raised here: why daily deaths are not occurring when we are handling this area daily? Daily deliveries are taking place, the perineal area is handled. Okay, so why? The answer, the explanation for this is, when we are going to any kind of surgery on this area, we are taking utmost care. When shock occurs, when we operate this area, when you are handling the region inadvertently without alerting the patient. If you want to do PR, or if you want to do give an injection or a small prick in the perineal region, without informing to the patient, and without informing, without taking the patient into confidence, if you are handling, straight away the patient will be in lithotomical position. Straight away patient will kick on your face because of a severe pain. Why? Because perineal region, particularly the Buddha area, is supplied by the high amount of nerves, the pudendal nerve or inferior rectal nerve, different plexuses are coming there. And if you go through the vascular arrangement, the external venous plexus, the internal venous plexus is there. Okay, arteries are supplied, and there are very sensitive receptors present. And the perineal skin is also very thin comparative to the skin of a thigh region. They're very thin, and receptors are very sensitive. Okay, and because of this, this area is very sensitive. If inadvertently we handle, leads to shock. It is a vasovagal shock and leads to death. Such things have happened. Not only because of this, some surgeons have faced the different complications while operating on this area. Just I will highlight now. During the surgeries on prolapsed rectum, if dissection is not carried out in a proper plane, the pelvic sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves run along the rectum. You see in this picture, you see this, along with the wall of the rectum, these nerves are going, and if these are not dissected properly, gets injured, leading to bladder dysfunction, impotence, and retrograde ejaculation. Because you have not handled marmasthana properly, it is affecting the other associated organs, bladder and prostate and all other. That is why particular area is mentioned. One more observation, you can refer this. Madiba T. et al. Has published one article. Hearing of presacral veins occurring during abdominal surgery for prolapsed rectum. This can lead to presacral hematoma or to torrential bleeding. Such bleeding can be difficult to control because the veins exit directly from the bone. And such deaths have occurred. They have faced the complications during surgeries in this area. That is why this place is designated as a Marmasthan. One more reference I can give, Mehmet et al. Reported a case of retroperitoneal perforation of rectum during double contrast barium enema examination. Here the patient got peritonitis and due to barium enema, and patient died after 20 hours after the surgery due to septic shock because the peritonitis is. So the peritoneum is in very close contact with this region, okay? And that is why while handling, one more thing, the anal region is a very dirty area. If the patient has got a comorbidities like a diabetes and other, and having a low immunity, and if you are handling an abscess in this place, you should be very careful, because this area is predominant of gram negative organisms, and gram negative organisms are very dangerous. They can manifest the septic shock, because the sepsis may enter into the circulation and that leads to septic shock. That is why whenever we are handling the pathological conditions in a perineal region, one should be very careful. I wanted to show you some of the case reports because of some time constraint. I want to Matruka Marma, because we are handling in daily routine practice these all marmas. Why I am highlighted Guda Marma and why Matruka? Because Matruka is a very important marma, and while doing Panchakarma massage and all, even when we show the pulse demonstration and all, inadvertently sometimes we used to press this region and patient go into complication. And that is why I want to highlight this from student point of view. Grivayam Ubhayata Chatasraha Sira Matruka Tatra Sadhyo Maranam. On either side of the griva, the four vessels, major vessels are there, called as Matruka, and on injury of this leads to death immediately or within 7 days. Matruka is a Matruka, like a mother, which is supplying source to different parts, in particular in this region. This is a Sira Marma, and according to Vagbhata, four Sira situated bilaterally on the side of Kanthanadi, going to tongue and nose. This is a special explanation by the Vagbhata. Okay, what is the structural peculiarity present? What is the structural peculiarity? Very unique anatomy is seen here. See, as I said now, Marma is made up of Mausa Sira Snayu Sandhi. These all are coming together and all are making their own role. Particularly in case of Sadhya Prana Marma, whichever component is coming there, it may be a vessel, it may be a mamsa, it may be a snayu, everything is crucial. Every component is crucial here. I take example of a Matruka Marma. Hello? In a Matruka Marma, major vessels like common carotid artery and the subclavian artery, the jugular veins, both internal and external jugular veins, then the glossopharyngeal nerve, vagus nerve, and even other branches of these all nerves. And more than that, a carotid plexus is going to form by these nerves. That is why this area is a very crucial, and carotid artery is having a common carotid artery there just near to the bifurcation. There is a carotid bulb and carotid bodies are there, and where these baroreceptors are present or the chemoreceptors are present. These receptors are continuously monitoring the pressure and the CO2 level, okay, and that is why, and glossopharyngeal nerve, which is in contact with the cardiac inhibitory center of a brain, and one branch from the vagus nerve is going to form a cardiac plexus, okay, supplying. So in such situation, every component which is here is important. Okay. And one more thing is that the jugular vein which is there, it is relatively inelastic. If vein is inelastic, then that is not favorable to smoking. Vein should be elastic so that it can collapse. If it is not elastic, no, on taking incision, its mouth will continuously open, it will not collapse. Okay, and common carotid artery is relatively unprotected in this lower region. See, actually, surgery point of view, the neck is divided into three zones: the lower zone, middle zone, and upper zone. And lower zone injuries are very notorious. Lower zone injuries are very dangerous, and they are forming more mortality and morbidity. Okay. And another thing is that the external jugular vein is piercing the cervical fascia, which is the fascia, the fascia which is there, and it is very adherent to the fascia. And when this vein is cut, its mouth will open continuously and bleeding takes place continuously. Or sometimes the air will enter into this vein and it will go into the thorax, and that leads to different kind of sound in the thorax. This is the peculiarity of this region, and that is why a lot of importance has been given to this. If you see the mortality, common carotid artery injuries are associated with the internal jugular vein injuries, and thus have got a higher mortality rate. And subclavian vein and subclavian artery, if we compare, this subclavian vein is very dangerous. The mortality of subclavian vein injury is more than the artery. Okay. In a series of 124 patients with a penetrating carotid artery, the pre-hospital mortality rate was 56. See, pre-hospital mortality, because still patient has not reached to the hospital. And overall mortality rate is 66. 66% is not a small amount. It means that this region is very crucial and sensitive. If you see the study of 228 patients with the subclavian vascular injuries, 61% were dead before arrival to the hospital. Means subclavian injuries are also dangerous. And the peculiarity of the subclavian injury is that it is at the junction of a neck and chest, thorax. Okay, so it invites the complications in the chest also, and in a neck also. Apanga marma, okay. Apanga marma is also very important because of the external injuries. There will be a fracture of lateral wall of orbit. And the peculiarity of this region is the rim of the rim of the orbit is very thick, but the wall is very thin. So when injury occurs on the front side, there will be a buckling of the lateral wall, and that leads to bleeding inside the because the major vessels are coming there, lacrimal artery and all coming there, and that forms the compartment syndrome. That leads to andhyam drushti upaghata, andhyam, andhata and drushti upaghata. I will not take much time on this. I wanted to highlight two things about the Stephanie marma, because Stephanie marma is very important and it is a Vishalagna marma. And we student community had frequent doubts about the Vishalagna marma. And sometimes when we read first time, actually मुझे ऐसा लगता है मैं जब first time ये Stephanie marma के बारे में description पढ़ रहा था, as long as the shalya is kept there, prana will not come out, will not flow out. And if inadvertently, forcibly, if we remove the shalya from that place, the prana goes off and that leads to death. This was the explanation given in the quotation. And we had, हमको एक frequently question होता था कि भाई how it is possible. and particularly in the Stapani region. And Sushruta identified only two places, Stapani, Kurukshetra, Stapani region. Why? Then I analyzed and I referred many articles and it was wonderful, astonishing. हमें बहुत आश्चर्य हुआ कि सुश्रुता का जो थॉट था कि फॉरेन बॉडी उधर ही रखो, निकालो मत, as long healing process is not taking place there. आपने foreign body immediately nikala, that leads to other complications. Prana goes off. He's not saying bleeding, but prana goes off, he says. Okay, so how I tell you, kind of physics, I can say Sushruta had got a tremendous physics knowledge also. See, Stapani Marma is located between two eyebrows. And actually in this region, if you see, this is the area of a frontal air sinus. And if you go through the anatomy of a frontal air sinus, there are two tables. One is the anterior table and another is the posterior table. And anterior part of a superior sagittal sinus is very closely related to the frontal sinus. And superior sagittal sinus has got a role in the circulation of a CSF. In turn, it is going to make a balance in the CSF circulation. And if any foreign body, because in ancient days, arrows were using, the गदा युद्ध करते थे और गदा का भी उपयोग होता था. Arrows were more using, and these arrows has got a tremendous velocity, and this is the Stapani area is very made up of bone only. But when it was passing the two tables, the first table, anterior table of the frontal sinus and the posterior table, this tip of the arrow was going inside the brain or inside the cranium, I can say, and it was rupturing this superior sagittal sinus. Okay, even modern management also says when such fracture comes to an orthopedician or a neurologist, they first utmost take care that to close the wound first and then remaining management. This is told in even in modern management also of the frontal sinus fractures. Okay. So if we are keeping this wound open, inadvertently, what Sushruta is saying, inadvertently if we remove the foreign material there, then what happens? Ball wall mechanism is taking place there. What is this ball wall mechanism? Whenever there is a extracranial pressure exceeds the intracranial pressure, because after removing the foreign body, the CSF comes out, it reduces the pressure inside the cranium. That time what happens? Extracranial pressure in the air will be more and the air gushes into that injured wound and air accumulates in the cranium. And once air accumulates in the cranium, it will not come out. Even during this, if we cough or a strain or sneezing, the intracranial pressure is continuously goes on increasing, and this creates a pressure on a tissue, brain tissue, and because of this brain tissue, death can occur. One more mechanism we have to appreciate, that is the soda pop bottle, inverted soda pop bottle. Okay, and even this in soda pop bottle also the same mechanism is taking place. When there is a leakage of a CSF, it creates a negative intracranial pressure that leads to an influx of air, the same mechanism. And that is why even modern management also says as much as possible try to close the wounds and then remaining management. Okay, so here I got information through articles also. In one case they wanted to shift to the higher center for management. Okay, they put a catheter in the wound, they stitched that area, and along with the catheter they were managing the health of that wound. Okay, and they shifted anyhow to the higher center. See, Now they are putting catheter to keep wound closed. And in ancient days, Sushruta is saying, okay, I wanted to talk more on this concept, but because of constraint of time, I can't. Shrungatak Marma, this is also Sadhya Pranayama Marma, but Shrungatak Marma, I tell you, Grhana Shrota Akshi Jivha Santarpanya Nama Sirana Madhe Sirasanya Pataha. Shrungatak. Shrungatak is a center like where different ways are coming and joining. It is a Chauraha, hum bolte hain na. And vessels are coming, nourishing vessels are coming from Grhana Shrota Akshi Jivha. So such structure, which structure is present in the brain is the cavernous sinus. And if you go through the structural arrangement in the cavernous sinus, main carotid artery is very closely related to this cavernous sinus, and all the nerves, cranial nerves related to eye, it may be a trochlear nerve, it may be a oculomotor nerve, maybe a ophthalmic division of a trigeminal nerve. Okay, these all nerves are making the wall of this cavernous sinus. And from different areas, the vessels are coming and pouring their blood in this area. If you see the detailed anatomy of a cavernous sinus, there are some veins which are coming from nose, some veins coming from the face area, or even the internal ear, or from pharynx, or from even this teeth area. Veins are draining into the pterygoid plexus, and pterygoid plexus is going to drain into the cavernous sinus. Some veins directly pouring into the cavernous sinus, and that is why cavernous sinus is very crucial area. Exactly location is not mentioned, but as we are dealing with the head and neck, head marma, okay, so we feel that this is the relevant region for the location of Shrungatak marma, and it is Sadhya Pranayama marma. How? I tell you, Shrungatak marma, before, in a previous antibiotic era, case have also emphasized the association of facial infections. Approximately 60% of patients with septic cavernous sinus thrombosis from 1940 to 1960. And in 1940 to 1945, in an early antibiotic area, otitis media was the second most common site of infection predisposing to this complication. That is the cavernous sinus thrombosis. Why cavernous sinus thrombosis? Because once the cavernous sinus thrombosis occurs, it disturbs the CSF circulation, and further consequences and complications leads to death. That is why the infection should not reach to the cavernous sinus, because it leads to the thrombosis. And in a more recent antibiotic era, 1961 to 1984, the sphenoid and ethmoidal sinuses have become more frequent primary site of infection, predisposing to the septic cavernous sinuses. This indicates that the veins which are draining from these all areas are going to spread up infection in the cavernous sinus and leading to thrombosis. But before the invention of the antibiotics, the mortality rate of cavernous sinus thrombosis was 100%. Means एक बार thrombosis हो गया, 100% death there was no. And Shrungatak marma observations were done in ancient era. I think there were probably 100% deaths were occurring. But now the death rate has come down, it has come to the 30% because of high-tech surgical techniques and all. But even though, why even modern surgeons, neurosurgeons also not daring to operate on this because of fear of bleeding. In the ancient days and past surgical days I am talking. Now the scenario is different. But mortality rate is now come down, but morbidity remains high and complete recovery is rare. This is the explanation of modern surgical publications. Just see what a tremendous observation experience of a Sushruta. And there was some limitations for explanation of anatomy in a very concise manner. The Sushruta and our acharyas have described. But if we take a support of even modern observations also, definitely we can say our observation, our surgical principles are purely scientific. No other appeal for those, for them. Okay. Cavernous sinus, just I discussed this. These are the areas of important. I end my lecture here. Thank you very much for patiently hearing my lecture. Because of time constraint, I can't cover all the my presentation points. Thank you very much, Dr. Rakesh Sharma sir, Dr. Avinash Srivastava sir, and also the Chancellor, Vice Chancellor of Dr. S.R. Rajasthan Ayurveda University, Jodhpur, for giving me an opportunity to share my views. These are all my views. Okay, I presented with the help of modern observations. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Professor Kulkarni sir. I think, as you said in your beginning of the lecture, that Marma is a very vast subject itself. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's a very vast subject, no doubt. And if we take up even a single Marma, it can take up around much more of time. But how much you want to devote upon it? But to wind up such a vital topic in specific given time, it itself is a very Marma management task actually. Manage the Marma जो है Marma like strategy. So you have given us plenty of time in this regard, and has picked up the issue with all your expertise and experience, and have opened all the aspects, all the windows in regard to understand the Marma concept in purview of surgical anatomy. And as you have gone through your lecture, you have shown that Marma is the site. Marmas are the sites. If these are dealt properly, the complications, the hazards which may develop during surgery or even other aspects, a surgeon can succeed by managing all these procedures mentioned, all these information mentioned and mentioned in text, and correlating it with the practicality of these Marmas on the body. I hope all the participants, all the audience has been very much benefited by your kind knowledge. And after that, I request the audience, if they have any query in this regard, if they feel any doubt in they are having some sort of avarana in understanding the topic, they can raise their queries. Our beloved guest is here. You are welcome. Please name yourself and ask the question, if there is any.
राकेश सर थोड़ा शॉर्टन करिए.
Please shorten थोड़ा जल्दी करिएगा, because our expert is already having another engagement pending. So please do ask as early, or you can do one thing, that you can send these queries to me and I will share with him, and we will deal with the queries later on. We can do this also. If anybody has, can ask immediately. I think everybody is understanding the problem as I have shared with them. So we can have the queries accordingly, and if there would be anyone, I would forward to you and let it be cleared. Okay, sir.
Sir, please share my WhatsApp number, and you can WhatsApp me.
Sure.
Definitely, I am ready to
Sure,
hear.
sure. Naturally, it's your kindness, sir. And now in the concluding session, I request my colleague and HOD department of Rachna Sharis and Control of Examination and PG Dean Academics and Professor Mahendra Sharma to say some few words in this regard. Professor Mahendra Sharma ji. प्रोफेसर मेहनत जी हैं?
हेलो
या आप यू आर ऑडिबल। हाँ आ रही है। यस सर।
हेलो हाँ सर
आ रही है
सभी आज के इस कार्यक्रम के आवाज आ रही है ना? आज के कार्यक्रम के सभी श्रोताओं को और हमारे मुख्य जो वक्ता रहे कुलकर्णी जी सर का मैं बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। एक प्रश्न आज जो है कुलकर्णी सर ने एक बहुत अच्छा विषय हमारे सामने रखा कि अप्लाइड कंसेप्ट ऑफ मर्म शरीर के बारे में। हम सब जानते हैं कि मर्म चिकित्सा का विषय हमारे पीजी सिलेबस में भी जुड़ गया है और हमारे शारीरिक विषय के अंतर्गत मर्म का रचनात्मक स्वरूप है, चाहे क्रियात्मक स्वरूप है, चाहे व्यक्तिगत अवस्थाओं का लक्षणों का वर्णन मिलता है और उसी आधार पर मर्माघात जन लक्षणों के अनुरूप हमारे एक चिकित्सा क्रम का निर्धारण भी किया जाना एक आवश्यक प्रतीत होता है। आज का जो सर का जो लेक्चर था निश्चित रूप से मर्माघात जन लक्षणों के अनुरूप क्या हमारा चिकित्सा क्रम होना चाहिए।
एक मिनट मैं एक मिनट रोकूंगा, आपका फोटो नहीं आ पा रहा। सर कुलकर्णी जी आपका वो प्रेजेंटेशन हटाएं तो ये विजिबल हो पाएंगे सर।
हाँ ओके
हाँ आप बोले।
मेरा विषय हेलो
हाँ बोले आपकी आवाज आ रही।
हाँ हेलो मैं ये कह रहा था कि आज का जो विषय था कुलकर्णी सर का बहुत अप्लाइड कंसेप्ट को रखा कि किस प्रकार से मर्म शारीर विषय को हम चिकित्सा क्रम में उपयोगी कर सकते हैं। मेरा एक सुझाव है, मन का मेरा एक विचार था कि जिस प्रकार से हमारे शारीर विषय के अंतर्गत मर्म विषय का रचनात्मक स्वरूप बहुत अच्छा मिलता है, क्रियात्मक भी है, व्यक्तिगत अवस्थाओं का लक्षण मिलता है, उसी अनुरूप क्या हम एक किसी भी रोग विशेष को आधार मानकर कोई चिकित्सा क्रम तय कर सकते हैं क्या, ताकि जो मर्म चिकित्सा का जो विषय है धीरे धीरे हमारे हाथ से निकलता और शल्य की ओर जा रहा है। तो मुझे लगता है यही कारण है कि चाहे शिराभेद कर्म है, चाहे आपका अग्नि कर्म है, चाहे क्षार कर्म है, सब मर्म चिकित्सा के आधार के इधर रहते हैं। तो मेरा कुलकर्णी सर से इनका अच्छा अपना रिसर्च वर्क भी रहा है ना। तो इस विषय पे हम लोग अगली बार कोशिश करेंगे कि सर के साथ और बड़ा अप्लाइड के साथ इस विषय को जुड़े। आप सबका धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच, थैंक यू।
मुझे लगता है क्योंकि आज समय का थोड़ा अभाव है, कुलकर्णी सर को भी जल्दी जाना है, उनका एक ऑलरेडी पेंडिंग शेड्यूल है जैसा उन्होंने बताया था, तो मैं और लोगों को आज बुलाने की स्थिति में थोड़ा नहीं हूँ, तो मैं कंक्लूड करना चाहूँगा। तो मैं आज जो हमारा वोट ऑफ थैंक्स है मैं इसमें कंक्लूड करते हुए हमारे आदरणीय प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर अभिमन्यु कुमार जी का हृदय से आभारी हूँ कि उन्होंने सेंटर ऑफ ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट का एस्टेब्लिशमेंट किया इस यूनिवर्सिटी के, और उसके माध्यम से आज हम इस स्वरूप के में बैठे हुए हैं कि हम देश भर के विद्वानों से एक एक्सटेंशन एक्टिविटी, नॉलेज एक्सटेंशन एक्टिविटीज को ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हैं लेक्चर्स के माध्यम से, वेबिनार्स के माध्यम से, एंड इट इज़ द वेरी नीडफुल अपॉर्चुनिटी इन करंट सिनेरियो ऑफ पेंडेमिक, जो बहुत ज़रूरी थी और हम लोग बहुत अच्छे तरीके से जो है इसको फॉर्मुलाइज कर रहे हैं। एंड मेरा जो हमें पूरा इस मामले में जो है पूरा सभी का सहयोग मिल रहा है, हमारे प्रशासन का सहयोग मिल रहा है, मेरे साथियों का सहयोग मिल रहा है, और मैं इस क्रम में अब जो है आभार प्रदर्शन करना चाहूँगा हमारे साथ में जो डॉक्टर अविनाश जी, प्रोफेसर अविनाश जी हैं, प्रिंसिपल SCPM आयुर्वेद कॉलेज गोंडा से हैं। हमारे साथ जुड़े थे प्रोफेसर आकाशदीप मेश्राम पार्टनरशिप ऑफ आयुर्वेद से, प्रोफेसर नीलेश कोरडे गोवा से, गोमंतक आयुर्वेद कॉलेज से डॉक्टर निशी जैन, डॉक्टर प्रोफेसर KN सिंह BHU से, प्रोफेसर अभिजीत पाटिल भोपाल से, डॉक्टर तन्वी महाजन पंजाब से, डॉक्टर गिरिराज शर्मा अहमदाबाद से, डॉक्टर संजय श्रीवास्तव आयुर्वेद यूनिवर्सिटी से, डॉक्टर नम्रता तिवारी रायपुर से, डॉक्टर यशपाल हमारी पुरानी फैकल्टी हैं, डॉक्टर विजय लक्ष्मी जी BHU से, डॉक्टर विष्णु दत्त शर्मा जी, डॉक्टर ज्ञान प्रकाश जी हमारे आयुर्वेद यूनिवर्सिटी से, हमारे डॉक्टर शिवराम शर्मा जी आयुर्वेद यूनिवर्सिटी से, और इसके अतिरिक्त जो भी फैकल्टी जिनको मैं शायद हो सकता मैं उसमें आइडेंटिफाई नहीं कर पाया हूँ, देख पाया हूँ, या वो किसी और नाम से जुड़े हुए हैं, मैं उन सभी का बहुत बहुत हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। कि उन लोगों ने जो है हमें इतना समय दिया है और आज इसके लक्ष्य को सक्सेसफुल आया है। और मैं इसके साथ ही आभार व्यक्त करना चाहूँगा सभी पीजी स्कॉलर्स का, जिन्होंने जो देश भर से जुड़े हुए हैं, आज इस कार्यक्रम को उन्होंने सुना और निश्चित रूप से वो जो है उन्होंने आज बहुत कुछ ग्रहण किया होगा, क्योंकि डॉक्टर पीजी कुलकर्णी साहब का जो प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट है, अप्लाइड एस्पेक्ट है, उसमें उन्होंने बहुत काम किया है। उनका जो है मैं बहुत जो है धन्यवाद और आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ सभी पीजी स्कॉलर्स का। और विशेषतः जो हमारे जो आईटी डिपार्टमेंट है, डॉक्टर हरीश सिंघल, डॉक्टर कपिल जी, मिस्टर कपिल और महेंद्र, ये सब जो कि हमारे आईटी डिपार्टमेंट, इन सब ने, उनका हमेशा बहुत सहयोग रहता है, तत्परता से ये लोग काम करते हैं, मैं इनका भी बहुत आभार करता हूँ। साथ ही मैं रचना शारे डिपार्टमेंट आयुर्वेद यूनिवर्सिटी जोधपुर का बहुत बहुत आभार करता हूँ कि वो हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं इस कार्यक्रम में। और अंत में मैं जो है हमारे वक्ता मुख्यतः उनका जो है मूल रूप से, क्योंकि असली आभार तो उनका ही है कि उन्होंने हमको जो है समय दिया है इतनी व्यस्तता के बावजूद। उनकी बहुत एंगेजमेंट्स रहती हैं, बहुत काम है, पारुल यूनिवर्सिटी में बहुत अच्छा काम हो रहा है, हम उसको रेगुलर देखते रहते हैं। और मैं उनका हृदय से बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ कि आज उन्होंने हमको समय दिया, इस कार्यक्रम को सफल बनाया। अपना जो है बहुत बहुत आभार, बहुत बहुत आभार
सर। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल सर, बहुत बहुत
टीम।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, बहुत बहुत
धन्यवाद। था तो वी वुड हैव डिस्कस, कुछ डिस्कशन होता था, लेकिन टाइम नहीं है, फिर कभी जुड़ेंगे।
बिल्कुल, और हम दोबारा बैठेंगे सर। अब बहुत, अभी तो बहुत समय है सर, बहुत चलेगा सर। बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। और
मुझे फीडबैक भेज दीजिए, लेक्चर का फीडबैक जो है।
जरूर जरूर, है ना? बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
कैन आई लीव?
श्योर सर, श्योर सर। तो हमारे बीच में अब अपन चाहें तो मैं क्योंकि कुलकर्णी जी को थोड़ा जल्दी जाना था, मैं आग्रह करूंगा, हमारे साथ में कुछ हमारे विद्वान जुड़े हुए हैं, प्रोफेसर अविनाश जी जुड़े हुए हैं। अविनाश जी हैं? डॉक्टर केएन सिंह, डॉक्टर केएन सिंह जुड़े हुए हैं? प्रोफेसर केएन सिंह, प्रोफेसर आकाशदीप मेश्राम।
हाँ मैं जुड़ा, हाँ मैं हूँ डॉक्टर साहब, नमस्कार।
हाँ अविनाश जी प्लीज सर।
नमस्कार सर।
हाँ, पहले अविनाश जी से सुन लेते हैं। जी सर।
जी सर।
जी सर।
सबसे पहले तो मैं आप सब लोगों को प्रणाम करता हूँ, विशेष रूप से डॉक्टर भगवान कुलकर्णी सर का बहुत अभिवादन है। बहुत दिनों के बाद उनसे कुछ बातें सुना है आज, और इसका सारा श्रेय मैं डॉक्टर राकेश शर्मा को देता हूं कि उनकी टीम ने एक सीरीज शुरू की हमारे गुरुजी प्रोफेसर थट्टे के जीवनी पर। उन्होंने एक से एक रत्न पैदा किए हैं, उनमें से एक डॉक्टर राकेश शर्मा जी भी हैं। और डॉक्टर राकेश शर्मा जी से तब से मेरी मित्रता है जब इनके सिर पे पूरे बाल हुआ करते थे। ये पीजी में होते थे और मैं पीजी कर चुका था। तो मैं आज डॉक्टर भगवान कुलकर्णी सर का भाषण सुन के, उनका ये जो लेक्चर था प्योर क्लिनिकल एस्पेक्ट था, मैं अभिभूत हूँ, आह्लादित हूँ। भगवान सर ने जो अपना दिया है वो निश्चित रूप से एक दिशा निर्देश है कि हमारे जो सर्जरी डिपार्टमेंट के सर्जन हैं, जो शल्य चिकित्सक हैं हमारे, बहुत सारे लोग, इस बड़ा अच्छा रिजल्ट भी है। और जरूरत ये है कि आगे जितने लोग इससे वंचित हैं, मॉडर्न की सर्जरी कर रहे हैं, मॉडर्न पे अपना बेस बना रहे हैं, उन्हें आयुर्वेद का बेस बनाना ही चाहिए। और ये एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण विषय था जिस पे आज चर्चा हुई। मैं भी ये कोशिश करता हूँ कि मेरे हॉस्पिटल में आयुर्वेदिक चिकित्सा पद्धति से भगवान धन्वंतरी के बताए हुए दिशा निर्देशों पे हम अपनी शल्य क्रिया कराते हैं। हमारे पास बीएचयू के टीचर हैं, बीएचयू से यूजी पीजी हैं, और एक नहीं है, 3 हैं, और तीनों लोग मिलके बड़ा ही अच्छा कार्य कर रहे हैं मेरे हॉस्पिटल में, जो प्योर आयुर्वेदिक शल्य कर्म करते हैं। अग्नि कर्म से लेकर के, क्षार सूत्र से लेकर के आगे की भी जो भी प्रोसेसेस हैं, बहुत सारी डिजीज उन्होंने कर रखी हैं। जलौका का अभी हम शुरू करने जा रहे हैं, शीघ्र ही जलौका पे भी हम कार्य करेंगे। कि जो आयुर्वेद की विधा है हमारी, दरअसल हमें इसमें पारंगत होने की आवश्यकता है। और के साथ मेरे आयुर्वेद विश्वविद्यालय जोधपुर का झंडा ऊंचा करते मेरे अनुज हैं, मैं इनको बार बार बधाई।
हेलो हेलो, आवाज कट रही है। हेलो 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 हेलो, आवाज अविनाश जी, आपको आवाज नहीं आ रही, शायद डिस्कनेक्ट हो गए, देखो नेटवर्क की कोई प्रॉब्लम। चलो कोई बात नहीं, उनका हमारे साथ में बड़ा अच्छा जो है इस साथ रहा है सिंस बिगनिंग, काफी समय से उनके सानिध्य में रहे हैं हम। और अब मैं आग्रह करूंगा, हमारे साथ में जुड़े हैं प्रोफेसर आकाशदीप मेश्राम जी। आप भी जो है पारुल यूनिवर्सिटी में ही हैं, पारुल यूनिवर्सिटी के 2 कॉलेजेस हैं वहाँ, बहुत अच्छा काम हो रहा है। पारुल यूनिवर्सिटी अपने आप में एक अच्छे मॉरल्स सेटअप कर रही हैं फॉर आयुर्वेद फ्रेटर्निटी के लिए। मैं आग्रह करूंगा कि वो भी अपने जो है उद्गार इस समय इस अवसर पर व्यक्त करें। प्रोफेसर आकाशदीप मेश्राम।
Good afternoon, sir.
गुड आफ्टरनून।
I thank you to grant me some time to share my views and my experience. First, I would like to start with the, the acquaintance with Dr. Thatte sir. I was very fortunate to have my post graduation in Ashtanga Ayurveda, where his dear friend Dr. Madhukar Paranspe sir. So, yeah. So in his acquaintance, we had a very healthy talk, and frequently we used to meet Dr. Thatte sir, because every time, whenever he came to Pune, he used to come to Ashtanga Ayurveda, and we were residing over Ashtanga Ayurveda only. So we had the pleasure to have his company day in and day out. So we had healthy talks over the subject as well as out of the subject also, because he was a very jolly person. And I'll say that he was never too old. He was always young, and he was very energetic. I remember with the acquaintance of 7 to 8 years, right from the beginning of my post graduation until I received his last call, where he mentioned about me, that he is willing to give the award of the best teacher. But unfortunately, because of the CCIM visit, I was not able to go to Lucknow. And this moment, I regret that phase wherein the last, the Guru, who is Guru of all, and he is willing to give us an award, and he is calling us, and I was the unfortunate person who is not there with him. and suddenly after that, we had a news that is no more. So this was the journey with respected Dr. Thatte sir, and I will thank you that you have started with a platform where all the memories with him have re-emerged and re-streamed once again. And we are having an interaction with all the students of Dr. DG Thatte sir. And we are sharing a very healthy platform of our subject. Thank you very much. And hope this stream will continue for the years ahead. And once again, I am congratulating this platform to have wonderful lectures right from Dr. Kante sir and Vijay Kulkarni sir today. It was wonderful. Thanks a lot, sir. Rakesh Sharma sir, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir. I still remember that when I was in Pune for a program in CME, ROTP, and I just wanted to meet Professor M.H. Paranjpe sir from your Negri to Shaniwarpet, somewhere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was too far from there, and you spared. Actually, his madam was having some sort of, I think she had an accident or something, and she had a fracture in somewhere, and
Yeah.
that's wanted to visit him, and you wholeheartedly spared some time for me and took me to his home on your vehicle and spared a lot of time for me. Thanks once again. Thanks a lot for me once again.
It's my pleasure, sir.
Now I request Dr. Namrata Tiwari. Is she here from Raipur? Dr. Namrata Tiwari. Dr. Namrata Tiwari. He is not here. Dr. Giridhar Kanti sir is here. Sir Kanti sir, are you here? Dr. Kanti sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, congratulations. One of your brilliant pupils has delivered a lecture today, a very brilliant lecture, sir.
Yeah.
You would have been there in his lecture. How did you like that, sir?
Very nice. Very fine. Very good arrangement.
Yes,
No any doubtful questions. Very clear. And even yeah.
Please carry on. Please carry on.
No. Just to conclude that things. Okay. Good luck and very nice program. Yeah.
It gives a proud feeling that when your student is presenting just before you, it gives a very sound and proud feeling, sir. You are very lucky.
Definitely. That is why I'm joining to the every attendance because it is to be proud for myself. Very good. Nice.
So kind of you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dilip Goswami is here from Guwahati, Assam. Dr. Dilip Kumar Goswami. Dr. Dilip Kumar Goswami. Dr. Dilip Kumar Goswami. Dr. Yashpal. हेलो डॉक्टर यशपाल, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही, अनम्यूट करें, आपने भी अनम्यूट किया था, आवाज नहीं आ रही अभी। आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही डॉक्टर यशपाल। डॉक्टर ज्ञान प्रकाश शर्मा। डॉक्टर चेतन प्रकाश। हेलो 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 प्रोफेसर जेके शर्मा, जितेंद्र कुमार शर्मा। प्रोफेसर जितेंद्र शर्मा।
हाँ सर, नमस्कार।
हाँ नमस्कार, स्वागत है। आपका नाम आभार प्रदर्शन में भी छूट गया था, बहुत बहुत आभार। आपका नाम सबसे नीचे आ रहा है। बहुत बहुत आभार, आप जुड़े हुए हैं हमारे साथ में।
आज हम थोड़े से हो गए। आज बच्चों के कुछ पीजी के कुछ प्रोग्राम था डीआरसी का, तो उस वजह से ज्वाइन नहीं कर पाए, लेट हुआ।
चलिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका।
प्रयास जो चल रहा है उसमें बहुत सारे लोग जुड़ रहे हैं और सबको लाभ इसका मिल रहा है। बहुत ही सराहनीय प्रयास है। तो अभी इसका कुछ दोबारा कुछ वो मिल सकता है कहीं किसी लिंक पे, तो दोबारा
हाँ लिंक आपको देंगे हम, आपके इसके लिंक अवेलेबल हैं सारे, हम आपको शेयर करेंगे, ठीक है ना। मैं ग्रुप में जिसमें आपको भेजता हूँ उसमें आपको लिंक शेयर कर दूंगा, ठीक है।
जी जी जी।
हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी का यूट्यूब चैनल खोलेंगे, उसमें सारे लेक्चर अवेलेबल हैं, ठीक है। हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी का यूट्यूब चैनल खोलेंगे, उसमें सारे लेक्चर अवेलेबल हैं।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और कोई अपने विचार रखना चाहते हो जो उपस्थित हैं, उनका स्वागत है। और भी अगर कोई रखना चाहते हो अपना विचार, जो भी उपस्थित है वो अपना विचार रखना सकते हो, रख सकते हैं। डॉक्टर दिनेश, ठीक है, मुझे लगता है अब लगभग सभी हो चुके हैं। बहुत बहुत आभार वंस अगेन। अब मैं सभी मित्रों का बहुत बहुत सहयोग, बहुत बहुत आभार प्रदर्शन करते हुए मैं कॉल ऑफ करना चाहता हूं। अगर आप कहें तो कॉल ऑफ कर देता हूं। हाँ दिनेश जी, आप मौजूद हैं? कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं आप? दिनेश जी, लगता है आवाज नहीं आ रही। हाँ दिनेश जी, नहीं आ रही आवाज। चलिए ठीक है, कॉल ऑफ करते हैं सर, फिर मिलते हैं।
अभी हरी मिर्च मिली कम थी, लेकिन है तो ढूंढते हैं, कुछ तो मिल जाए। ऐसे लगती है निकाला। सॉरी, ये मांगलिक की सबसे बड़ी, और ज्यादातर लोग उसको फिर मानते हैं। मांगलिक है तो मांगलिक तो नहीं। मांगलिक करना बहुत है। जी बंद ये है कैसा हो